back to the Daily Grind. Thanks for checking out the channel. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back pickle biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
November 2nd of 2017, less than 3 months ago, the UFC announced a partnership with Kobe Bryant's new sports drink, BODYARMOR. You probably saw it in a couple of my videos because these things are fucking delicious. And I told you guys I'm about to earn a sponsorship just by how many of these things I drink. But no, all jokes aside, BODYARMOR sponsored 4 fighters whenever they partnered with the UFC. They announced official sponsorships with 4 of the UFC's rising stars. Cody Garbrandt, as you see on stage. You also see Cynthia Calvillo, who was then undefeated, and Francis Ngannou, who was going to be fighting for the UFC's heavyweight title after a vicious knockout over Alistair Overeem. There was also another fighter that was sponsored that wasn't on stage here, and it was Michelle Waterson. Now, all 4 of these fighters in just 3 short months have went on to lose their next fights, and really, Cody Garbrandt and Francis Ngannou, both of these fighters were at a point in their career where if they won this next fight, they had the potential to be UFC megastars as a Conor McGregor or a Ronda Rousey. Cody Garbrandt had just became the UFC's bantamweight champion, and there was really only one contender standing in his way before he started moving to super fights, and that was TJ Dillashaw. If Cody Garbrandt would have beat TJ Dillashaw, he would have went on to fight Demetrius Johnson and probably took the Conor McGregor path of moving up multiple weight divisions, challenging for other belts. And even if you do happen to lose a fight, you don't lose your belt, therefore you don't lose much momentum. So Cody Garbrandt was 1 fight away from being propelled into superstardom, and he went on to lose his fight. Now that was 1 fighter that lost after this BODYARMOR deal. And I'm going to, and so a lot of people are saying that this is a BODYARMOR curse. All 4 of the fighters, yo, do a video on the BODYARMOR curse. And we've seen this phenomena in multiple sports, whether it's the NFL with the Madden curse. They say the people who are on the Madden cover of the video game, they go on to lose. Or the Sports Illustrated curse. Our athletes that make the cover of the Sports Illustrated magazines went on to lose or be unsuccessful in the next year. So we've heard about these sponsorship curses in the past, and it's looking like the BODYARMOR curse has now hit the UFC. But I will explain that what I believe is going on with this BODYARMOR curse at the end of the video, but I'll just talk for a quick second about the other fighters that were sponsored. Now, we talked about Cody Garbrandt, who lost to TJ Dillashaw. Cynthia Calvillo, who was also sponsored by BODYARMOR, was undefeated at the time. She went on to lose to the UFC's inaugural strawweight champion Carla Esparza in her next fight. If she would have won that fight, she was looking at possibly a title shot. She thought she won the fight. She was celebrating in the octagon after the fight. She thought she had done enough. Cynthia Calvillo, she went on to lose that fight. Carla Esparza got her hand raised. Cynthia Calvillo was no longer undefeated, and after the competition, she was also busted by USADA for smoking weed, THC. She was popped doping violation for THC. So that's 2 of the fighters sponsored by BODYARMOR. Francis Ngannou went on to fight Stipe Miocic in the heavyweight title fight just this past weekend, and he did not look too impressive in that fight. He was inefficient with his energy, and after the first round, Francis Ngannou looked really like a fish out of water versus the current champion Stipe Miocic. Of course, he had his moments being so strong and big. If he lands a shot at any time, he could have won the fight. But Stipe Miocic really dominated Francis Ngannou, another fighter sponsored by BODYARMOR, in the fight. So that's all 3 of the fighters on stage. And then of Michelle Waterson, also another fighter who was sponsored. I had to look this one up before this video. Michelle Waterson went on to lose a fight to Tecia Torres in December. So this sponsorship was announced in November. Michelle Waterson, who's not on stage but was also sponsored, lost a fight a month later. So now all 4 of the fighters sponsored by Body Armor have went on to lose their next fights, and that is pretty crazy. That is why people are bringing up the Body Armor curse. But since this is not just, you know, unique to the UFC and Body Armor, we've seen this with the Sports Illustrated curse, whether it's the Madden curse, the UFC cover. They say the Ronda Rousey was on the cover, Conor McGregor was on the cover. They call it the UFC curse. What this seems like to me is just fighters that are getting opportunities that they didn't have in the past, that are getting good looks. So let's say you're a fighter that's fighting for $20,000 and then you get approached by Body Armor for a $200,000 sponsorship. You just made a whole lot of money, and so you probably get a little more comfortable, a little more relaxed. You're probably training just a little less hard, and I'm not saying that's the case in everybody, but it does make sense. As a fighter becomes, or an athlete becomes more comfortable, they get more complacent. It's just the course of life. There's not many people who, you know, we see it going on with Conor McGregor. He made $100 million. It doesn't make him want to fight even more. It makes him want to take time off and go spend money. And a lot of the same thing with these fighters. Francis Ngannou, Cynthia Calvillo, after they got their Body Armor check, they probably wanted to, you know, took a couple. If I'm training 5 times a week, well, now I've got the money to train 4 times a week, and, you know, I might go do something on the Friday. So to me, that's what it more seems like with these sponsorship deals. Fighters just get a big check, or even if it's another athlete, you get a sponsorship, and you just probably get a little more comfortable. I don't think it's got anything to do with like an actual fucking voodoo hex curse, but it is still very interesting that all 4 fighters just less than 3 months ago announced as the official sponsored athletes of the UFC for Body Armor have went on to lose. So with that being said, it is what it is. Let the full-time family know what you think about the Body Armor curse in the comments. I'm out. P.S. No the fuck I'm not out. How can I do a Body Armor curse video and not show anybody from Body Armor that might be watching this video my motherfucking Body Armor? Yeah, that's a whole bunch of Body Armors. I can make it rain Body Armors in this joint. I told y'all, okay, y'all get the point. Some of y'all saw this in the New Year's Eve stream, but I didn't clip it up. So Body Armor, I fuck with y'all, curse and all. I'm out.
Bye, Felicia.